come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press at Down Beach Current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the municipal website, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you please take a second, turn off all electronic equipment. We will stand for the flag salute. Attention, salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker?
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg?
I am here.
First item on the agenda is a very pleasant one. We're going to swear in 2 new firemen. Chief or John?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. This is an exciting night today for Margate as we swear in 2 new firefighters for our men and women in the back. I think it's a good day for you guys because it's going to help out with the overtime duty we've had to bear over the past several months based on a retirement that we had in April and one on a vacancy that was part of our fire department. So I want to bring Terry Whipper up first and your family members, someone to hold the Bible for you. Terry's a familiar face in the city of Margate. Terry started with us 2 years ago as a special law enforcement officer. He proved himself as an excellent employee in the city of Margate. I can tell you that, and our chief of our police department can attest. Terry is a great find for the Margate City Fire Department. Again, I want to compliment all our guys in the back and ladies in the back who protect us every day. I'm sure you guys are going to be happy to have someone like Terry on board behind you, covering your backs as you protect us every day. So, you can hold the Bible. This is Mom. Mom, we give you honor. Please raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Terry Whipper,
Do solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
The Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
That I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform and discharge all the duties of office of firefighter to the fire department of Margate City. Best of my ability. And understanding. So help me God. Congratulations.
I would just like to thank the police chief. If he has anybody else like Perry, we'll take him.
Cameron, would you come up with your family, please?
I just want to say how proud I am of the fire department, all of our members that are here today to support our new firefighters. It's a very positive testimony to our department. And also for Cameron, who's a really capable young guy. Thank you. Just wanted to recognize Captain Bill Martin from the Ocean City Fire Department. Captain Martin is their training officer who ran the drill school that Cameron just graduated from, and several recruits with him from Ocean City and Brigantine. I heard they had a great class, and we really appreciate it. He did a great job getting them through in record time. Thank you, Bill.
Are you boys going to stay first? It's not required that you stay. We'll wait for a minute and let you guys leave. Except for Karen. Carmen, you're out. Got it.
Yeah, seriously. She was standing in my house.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Oh, you're back. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask Morris Goschel, President, and Marcia Bronstein, would you like to come up? They represent the Philadelphia South Jersey chapter of the American Jewish Committee. Welcome to Margate.
Thank you, Mayor Becker, Commissioner Amadeo, and Commissioner Blumberg. My name is Morris Goschel. I'm the president of the Southern New Jersey, Philadelphia region of AJC, the American Jewish Committee. On behalf of AJC, we are here to express our thanks and appreciation for the mayor signing our Mayors United Against Anti-Semitism proclamation. In 2015, AJC launched its Mayors United Against Anti-Semitism campaign, calling on mayors to publicly address and take concrete actions against anti-Semitism. Mayors were asked to sign the public declaration, and since we started this program, 351 mayors all over the country and District of Columbia, representing 86 million people, have signed the petition. The anti-Semitism continued to spread across Europe with attacks in Jewish schools, museums, kosher supermarkets, synagogues. AJC convened a groundbreaking strategy conference headlined A Defining Moment for Europe, which was held in Brussels in May of 2015. That conference was attended by 26 of the 28 European countries and led to the extension or expansion of the Mayors United Against Anti-Semitism in Europe. To date, 189 European mayors from 31 countries representing 70 million people have signed. The signatories pledge to work within and across U.S. and European communities to advance coexistence and affirm that anti-Semitism is incompatible with fundamental democratic values. Now AJC is addressing another major issue, BDS, the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement, known as BDS, that seeks to delegitimize Israel. Building on the success of the Mayors United campaign, AJC calls on all the governors to sign this affidavit and affirm that Israel remains a vital U.S. ally and economic partner. BDS makes two-state solutions more difficult by demonizing, delegitimizing, and isolating Israel, a robust, pluralistic democracy that has extensive commercial ties with the U.S. To date, 11 governors have signed this. This is a relatively new program, and we're hoping that with your help we can have the New Jersey governor sign this as well. We are pleased to present to you, Mayor, the framed copy of the AJC ad placed in the Wall Street Journal, which names all of the signatories, and including the proclamation itself. And again, we say thank you for participating in this endeavor. We'd like to have a picture, if we could, with you, Mayor.
That can be arranged. And thank you for coming. It was certainly a pleasure. And thank Mr. Grossman, who started the whole thing.
Thank you.
How long did you give Katie?
She said she was on the same time.
Did you take her extension on these resolutions? There was a time extension, which I wanted to have. I don't want to vote on it unless it's out. Let me ask Rich. Rich.
Thank you.
No, it should go in the hall.
I hope it goes out your home, because you're in charge of that. Our next guest is busy talking. Tori, go on up. This is Tori Woods.
Thank you, Mayor Beaker and Council of Margate City. As the mayor stated, I'm Tori Woods, the Development Director for Clean Ocean Action, and it's an honor to be here today. We have had the pleasure of working with Margate for countless years now on our beach sweeps program, helping to remove debris, and now through the Municipal Blue Star program. The Municipal Blue Star program combines the visionary Sustainable Jersey program with Clean Ocean Action's focus on water quality protection. Our goal is to inspire coastal towns to achieve Sustainable Jersey's certification and reap its benefits, while at the same time focusing on watershed-wide and quality improvements. The Blue Star program originally launched in 2014, where we had Margate's own Monica Coffey with the Green Team participate in a panel on all the great work that Margate has done and accomplished over the years. So Clean Ocean Action's Blue Star program encourages communities to promote healthy waters, resilient communities, and environmentally sound practices. This is done by completing various projects that protect community watersheds and climate mitigation. Margate City attained the necessary 75 points back in May for the certification for Sustainable Jersey and Blue Star. Examples of those actions, which you may be familiar with, are the prescription drug safety and disposal, recycling education and enforcement, and the reusable bag education program, all of which are very important. In addition to Sustainable Jersey's projects, towns are required to choose one of the 5 additional actions under the Blue Star program. Margate City completed the climate adaptation, the flooding risk action, which is designed to identify communities' vulnerability to flooding impacts, both coastal and inland, along with ways to improve communities' overall resiliency. And, as an island, you understand, the importance of this and protecting your community. And as a town, affected by Superstorm Sandy as well. With the completion of the climate adaptation, flooding risk action, Margate is taking an important step to planning for the future and protecting the community. So I applaud you all for the work that you have done through your various councils. With that, Clean Ocean Action wants to congratulate Margate and encourages you to display this plaque in your town, or in that beautiful case that I just saw walking in, for your residents to see your dedication to clean water and what you're doing for the marine environment. So thank you very much, and it has been a pleasure to work with you, and we're honored to present you this award.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tori.
We'd love to get a picture.
Come on, guys. It's all of us. I'll take a picture.
You go, Mike. Come on.
I don't think it's all of us.
Come on, gotta get a picture of paper. Come on. Remember to have your mug in there. John. What? It's your collar. Come on, button your shirt up. Come on. Come on, John, get close. All right, John.
Lisa, next item is a lifeguard pension plan for discussion.
Yes. Last year, we started discussions with the Lifeguard Pension Committee because we needed to obtain an actuarial calculation as to make sure that the city was properly funding the lifeguard pension plan. And as a result of those meetings, we hired Bill Carbon, who's a professional in pension plans with CBIZ. It's a national company, national company, excuse me. And so he began to examine our current document, and apparently the plan was established during the 1970s and has not been revised since then. And it's my understanding after our meetings that under the IRS regulations that a pension plan is supposed to be reviewed at a minimum every 3 years. So we were, several years behind since nothing has been done since the initial. original document was prepared and executed. So we sent him all the information, and he presented us with a draft of the document, which I forwarded to all of you for your review. It's my understanding that the revisions incorporate the current document. No changes were made to the current document as far as eligibility and payments and beneficiaries. So he took the existing document and then added to it all the specifications to get us in compliance. And that's as it stands right now. I understand that there are several questions in regards to the document, so I had forwarded some of the questions that Rich had sent to me to Mr. Carbon, and I asked that he come and meet with the commissioners and Rich to address your questions directly, because he's really the expert with the plan. You know, I've been, attending these meetings, and I've just been the facilitator, basically, and overseeing the plan. But as far as the specific regulations and what is needed right now, he would be the expert in that field. So he said he can come down on September 1st. The committee, as well as myself, because there's so much up in the air right now as to whether or not the governor is going to allow municipalities to disband or continue with these lifeguard pensions, we decided, well, the first step would be to get our document in compliance. Then from there, he would establish this actuarial calculation as to the funding, and then if and when, the municipality is able to make changes to the plan or disband it, we would deal with it then. As far as making changes right now, again, I'm not the expert. He would be a better one. So I will certainly forward any other questions that you have to him, or if you would like me to go ahead and confirm the meeting for September 1st. Yes, John.
I think we should have a meeting. Is that okay with you first?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Richard?
We will have to do that, but what I would prefer is that if you've had a chance to look at this document, if you would forward to me the concerns and questions you have, I'll add them to the ones I have. I'd like to meet with the gentleman myself first to ultimately make some kind of a recommendation to you and get it.
You okay with that? Okay with that?
I'd like to get a better understanding of it before we just bring it here to the public, because I think that this has been going on since 1970. There's no rush in this, but we're doing this in a very orderly fashion, and I think it's absolutely critical. The whole goal ultimately is to decide actuarially where we are, which we have never done. But we've made a lot of progress because we have an active pension board now, which is made up of citizens of the community who have been involved for a year with Lisa to get to this point. So rather than bring it to the public and try to get a vote on it, I think we still need a little bit more work. And it's your first introduction to it, and I'm reluctant to ask you to make decisions without quite a bit of more understanding at this point.
I'm good with that, Rich. John, you have something to say?
Yes, Rich, I'm good with that too. That's a great suggestion. I just have one question for Lisa. With the fact that it existed for 35 years without complying with the regulations or the state laws, how does it still remain as a pension system?
It's a good question. What I can tell you is Margate is not the only one that has not reviewed their pension plan. I am pretty confident that probably the majority of the coastal towns who have these pension plans for lifeguards are probably non-compliant as well. And I guess the IRS has never decided to audit these pension plans. I guess another issue is because we weren't talking about a huge dollar amount, that maybe it didn't like raise the question, it wasn't any concern, like we only have about 8 people currently on our pension plan, and so I guess it was just under the radar all this time. And actually, there wasn't anybody, as Rich had mentioned, up until last year, the committee, there was not a committee, so it kind of fell by the wayside.
So we're basically trying to do the right thing.
Exactly.
And you said we have 8 participants in our pension system now.
Yes, I believe there's 8, yes.
Is that being funded through the payments that those employees made and the contributions the city did, or are we funding that?
Both. Under the current document, all the lifeguards, they all have to participate. It's mandatory that they contribute 4% of their total salary, and then at the end of the season, the city matches the 4%. A couple of years ago, I started budgeting more than that to help fund it because our liability had increased. For the longest time, there weren't any new retirees. A couple of years ago, there were more people that had become eligible. So we started to fund additional money. I can tell you that over the years, I did question why the city was not contributing, and I was told by the auditor on a few occasions that the city did not need to fund it as long as there was sufficient money available in the account. And I guess at that time, you know, there were, but now there is not. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. Rich, thank you.
One other thing. Commissioners, to the credit of the Beach Patrol, since it's been under the fire department, we have funded the salary and wage portion of the lifeguards exactly the same since I've been here, and we have challenged the fire department, who's leading the Beach Patrol, and now with the new Beach Patrol director, to not only stay within that budget amount, but to try to save some money at the end of the year. And as a result, we've taken a portion of the money that they save at the end of the year and added it to the pension fund, just so that it helps all of us get a little bit further ahead than we were 5 years ago. So that's why I said before, we've really done a lot. Rich Patterson is the citizen chair of the pension board, and he's an accountant, and together with Lisa, we've gotten it back on track, and it is on track. We just need to know going forward that it's going to stay on track.
Thank you, guys. Anything else? All right, at this point, we're going to open up for department head reports. And Frank?
Last Friday on the 29th, there was a Back Bay cleanup. Robin and Rachel Scott organized it. It went from 4 in the evening to 5. They collected a lot of debris off our marshlands. As a matter of fact, they collected 4 dump truck loads, which was equivalent to about 8 tons. Very successful program. This coming week, we'll be working on the Washington Avenue Pier down at the bay. We're actually rebuilding the insides of all the lights on the pier. They need maintenance, so we're going ahead and taking care of all of them. And tomorrow night is the Margate Memorials. We'll be helping the lifeguards set up for that tomorrow afternoon, and I hope Margate wins. That's what all I have.
As we all do. Thank you, Frank. Lisa?
The only other thing I'd like to mention to you is that now that the generator project here for the municipal building is complete, all day today I was compiling all the information to get it closed out and submit for reimbursement, of which we're due $176,000. So hopefully that will be coming to us soon.
Soon. Thank you, Lisa. Chief Wilson?
I'd just like to remind the public that we actually, if you haven't read in the Current today, that the city received a grant for bicycle racks in the amount of $137,500. And at Rich's instruction, I'm heading up a group to decide where they're going to go and what kind of racks we're going to get. So I'll be able to report back in probably 2 weeks as to the progress we made. We've already had one meeting. It was very productive. And other than that, things are good.
Thank you, Dave. Mr. Deeney, do you have anything to add? Mr. Abbott?
Very briefly, Mayor, on August 9th coming up, we have the Army Corps of Engineers coming in to meet with us here at City Hall to go over some of our dredging needs. And as you are aware, the Army Corps is responsible for the inland waterway. Their area. They are not responsible for the lagoons, but we are attempting to forge a partnership with them so that we can get a suitable site to put our dredge material. We also have a meeting coming up on the 12th where the appraiser for the state with regard to the dune easement will be coming into the city and meeting with myself and with our designated appraiser, Mr. Corcoran. We also have another meeting coming up somewhere after the 17th, but before the 24th of August. We have not firmed up the date, again with the DEP and the Army Corps, to deal with the drainage issues that you are all aware of and have expressed concern with if and when the dunes are finally constructed. So we're trying to work out a resolution with the DEP and Army Corps to address our concerns about ponding the water that'll be between the dunes and the bulkheads. That's what I have.
Thank you, Scott. Johanna?
Things are well with the clerk's office.
Good. Roger?
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Just briefly want to discuss something that came up this week in regard to an ordinance based on Public Works. Our city's ordinance discusses trash cans being curbside, how they have to be moved back off the curb and sidewalk after a certain time, right, Frank? Yes. There's nothing in the regulations for the general ordinance that requires a homeowner to screen it or put it in the garage or put it in the backyard behind the fence. The land use ordinance, however, does address this. Any new construction, they require the refuse and recycling and trash to be screened or hidden from public view. There's an issue where a couple complaints came in where trash cans were on driveways, front yards, and it doesn't look very attractive. There's no enforcement issue that Frank can use to make them hide it. So what I suggest is take some elements out of the land use ordinance that addresses placement of trash cans and recycling containers and put it into the general ordinance so they have some enforcement teeth to just ask people to put it away. I just wanted to know what your feelings were on that at some point in time.
I'm good with that. I think that's a great idea.
I agree, Mayor.
Good by me.
Thank you.
Is it done yet? Is it done yet?
It's in draft form, actually.
Get it done.
Anything else, Roger?
The rush for COs and TCOs and all that fun stuff is continuing.
That's good. Jim?
Mike, we took a walk through City Hall today, and we noticed a couple things were outstanding. And I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and I think even with the trim around the windows and the doors and the walls, the 6 doors that need to be installed, the front door out front on Washington Avenue, the second floor staircase, the flooring, the exterior railing, which is just the welds, and then the elevator install. I'm looking at 3 weeks. I mean, that would just be, a month would be if 2 guys showed up and didn't do anything all day. Today we had 4 guys in there working, so I'm thinking we got to be in there by beginning of September, easy, because that would be 3 weeks. I mean, I'm beating my head up trying to figure out how they can take that much longer.
I agree. They've been moving pretty good in the last couple of weeks, as you know.
Other than that, just a couple small fires. Roger had to help me put one out today, so hopefully we'll get it resolved by tomorrow. And we have a brand-new construction office. If anybody wants to stop by and meet the new people working there, I think you'll love them. Lisa, thank you for the new program on our accounting spreadsheet, so we'll be motivated to getting that more of a digital than a paper product, and that'll help you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Fred? Are you awake, Fred?
You're up.
Would you like to speak to the public?
I'm good for right now. I'm just checking on the job that I have going on.
Oh, okay, Fred. John?
The only thing I'll mention is I just want to thank Robin and Rachel and Steve and Monica for orchestrating that Back Bay cleanup. I did run into Steve shortly after he finished that evening, early evening, as he had a beer in his hand at the log cabin. He was so excited about how good the program was and mentioned how you're going to do it again in September. So again, for your volunteerism and all your efforts, we really appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you.
And that's from all of us. Marty?
I have one thing. I want to thank Frank and his team for the extra special attention that they've been paying to the street ends. I saw the guys were out on Sunday, and they're really doing a good job to help keep those street ends clean, and that really is what everybody sees when they come over the steps on both sides. A bit of a pet peeve of mine, and it's really coming along well. We have, regretfully, we have one business in town that continues to staple his flyers up on the bulkheads. I'm working with Jimmy and code enforcement. I've collected probably 200 of them myself. So we're hoping that we can get him into compliance soon. But other than that, it's the beaches are looking great, and I want to thank Frank and the team. That's all I have.
I will second that. You know, Frank, at the beginning of the year, we made a commitment to do the beaches, and I think Frank and everybody can agree that the beaches have never been this clean. We will continue to work hard doing that, and Frank, I thank you publicly, privately. You're a great guy. You're doing a good job. At this point, we'll open for public comment, 3 minutes for anything that was discussed here today. Is there any public comment? Would you come forward, your name and address for the record, please?
Steve Chizecki, 112 North Lancaster Avenue. About Robin Scott's cleanup, yes, it was fantastic. It was fabulous. Over 70 people showed up. There were 16 boats present, including the fire boat, for safety. The Margate Bridge Company, they used their barge. They donated, I think, about 3 men for their labor, and they picked up some of the heavy stuff. Everybody that went out there had a really good time. It was the first time that for a lot of people to ever go out on the marshes to see what's out there and to understand the wildlife that's out there. There's still a lot of debris that's out there. When you can see it on the high tide, how the high tide line goes up on the marshes, it's very visible. We removed a lot of heavy wood, stringer stairs, boards that were very long and stuff, basic navigation hazards. So we're going to see if there's a way we can deal with, I don't know, with Marine Police or something like this to do something about how to get this out of the water, because it is as boaters, we all know that it's dangerous. We are planning another one. This one was incidental, but we are planning one September 17th, and we're incorporating all the cities in the local area. The whole of Absecon Island is involved so far, and other people are expressing interest as well. And as usual, we'll let you know how we're doing and keep you posted. We can use any advice or any ideas. Please feel free to come to us and let us know. Because we're kind of new at this. We've never done this before, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing for the city. It's good for people to come and see.
Thank you, Steve. You guys are doing a great job.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Following up on the comments of the city solicitor, I once again ask, this Army Corps, what are the funding sources for the dredging? Is this going to come directly out of the taxpayers' hides? What about these grants that were supposedly up in Trenton? Has there been lobbying to secure grants and to offset the cost of the dredging? Or is this going to be solely on the backs of the taxpayers?
As we progress along with this process, John, we will be applying for grants. At this point, that hasn't been determined.
Buying for them and lobbying for them are two distinct and different things.
We will apply and lobby. Anything to make you happy, John.
That's a tall task, man. That's a tall task. You'd have to be hallucinating if you think you could do that.
I knew that was going to be the answer.
Secondly,
You'll never satisfy.
when the solicitor talks about drainage for the dunes, hopefully, this will not result in a 40 or 50-year tie-in contract for the city of Margate and for the Margate taxpayers. My question is, are we doing everything humanly possible to avoid any signing of any agreements with the Army Corps of Engineers that will result in financial obligations for the next 40 or 50 years?
I'm not signing nothing.
Yes, John, is the answer to that one. We're very brief today.
You're not going to sign, yes or no? No, we're not going to sign.
We are not in favor of signing a contract. We've done that before.
And that's the
That
official
hasn't
position?
changed for the last 2.5 years, John.
Well, we've gone through $300,000 and we haven't received any concessions from the Army Corps or from the DEP.
But we have them where we want them now, John.
I just think that this is a very pricey, you could buy a lot of books for $300 and some $1,000, Mayor.
That's true.
And you get stiffed and no agreements whatsoever. I say it's time to start lobbying both on the state and the federal level. If it requires getting Lo Biondo on board with this, I say get Lo Biondo on board to set up a meeting with the DEP and the Army Corps where we get some type of concessions, whether it's the stairwells, the staircasing, or the drainage pipes. We shouldn't have to pay for this. If they're going to do that, they should pay for it.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. First of all, I'd like to say that the beaches look great this year, and at the end of the day, it was something I talked about a couple years ago, 3 and 4 years ago. It used to be a lot of trash built up, and apparently people are picking it up, and it's not building up like it used to, so it looks a lot better. So I just want to let you know an update on that. And also, I mentioned earlier about the dogs on the beach and questioned whether the ordinance was going to be enforced, and you guys said it was going to be enforced, and I haven't seen a single dog on the beach this year. And I'm usually there till 7:30. They would come like maybe 6:15, something like that. As soon as the lifeguards left, they'd come, and but that hasn't happened. So I think that's great. And the other thing is, as far as the pensions for the lifeguard, I don't know whether this has anything to do with anything, but basically in my mind, a lifeguard is a seasonal job for high school kids, maybe college kids, what have you. It's not a permanent job, and I don't see where it warrants a pension. So that's just my 2 cents on that. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else? Last call. Motion to close public comment.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you. We will reconvene 5 o'clock.